The May 7th, 2024 Carteret County Board of Education regularly scheduled meeting. We'd like to call up Parkers Island Elementary School students, Mr. Roberson, to do the pledge.
I'd like to introduce Miss Sloan Dorneeden. She's a third grader at Parkers Island Elementary. And Miss Callie McFall, she's a second grader at Parkers Island Elementary. They're two of our finest. They always light the way, which is our motto. So,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we've got some certificates and pins.
Good job, y'all. Good job.
So thank you for coming out tonight.
Picture.
You can come right up here. And I'll shake your hand. Thank you very much.
Okay, all smiles. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. We'll let moms get pictures.
Good done. All right,
Quick.
you're official.
We're on it.
Good job, y'all. Good job.
And now Mr. Travis Day is going to lead us in a prayer.
Please bow your heads. Lord, thank you for this day we have been given. Please be with our students and our teachers as we all finish the year strong. And please be with us as we make decisions that will affect our school system. We thank you. Amen.
Now I'm going to turn it over.
Agenda first.
Gotta go to our
School.
students.
Hold on.
Governor School.
Oh, never mind.
Hang on, just a few more steps. Ms. Heather Boston's going to come up and recognize the 2024 Governor School students.
Hi, thank you. Each year, Carteret County Public Schools nominates students to apply for Governor School. This is a highly competitive 4-week summer program for gifted and talented high school students, integrating academic disciplines and the arts. After submitting names at the local level, students are then presented before a state-level selection committee that determines acceptance based on strong academic history, written essays, extracurricular activities, and a performance or portfolio for the arts. This year, we have students representing our school system in the visual arts, choral music, instrumental music, and across academic areas. We are honored to present these. It said 16. We actually got a 17th that was accepted. 17 students who have been selected from Carteret County Public Schools. I would like to start with the students from East Carteret High School. We have Gemma Campbell Godfrey for English. We have Calvin Jackson for the Natural Sciences. Maggie Murray for Visual Art. Ella Graham from West Carteret, let me start with West Carteret now. Ella Graham for Natural Sciences. Emily Hollingsworth for Instrumental Music, Clarinet. Ryan Skarweski for Instrumental Music, Saxophone. And Trinity Tunby for Instrumental Music, Trombone. And now we are going to go for Croatan High School, and we do have several students from Croatan that are out. They have both a men's lacrosse and a women's lacrosse tournament happening. And so, as you know, our students do lots of different activities, so some weren't able to be here today. Casey Butler is not here, and she represents visual arts from Croatan. And then we have Ashley Campbell for dance. James Conway was unable to be here, Natural Sciences. Haley Hayden for choral music, soprano 1. Luke Lewis for mathematics. Aaron Mackey for choral music, soprano 1. Avery Maddox was unable to be here for visual art. Mackenzie Moyer was unable to be here for visual art. Graham Myers was unable to be here for natural science. And then we have Hampton Scott, instrumental music, percussion. We are proud to present these 17 students before our board and have them representing our county. They are extraordinary students, and we are honored to have you here with us tonight.
So if we could split into 2 rows for pictures, that would be great. So maybe right here, if you'll move forward, you guys all move forward a little bit, and you guys can slide in on that work.
On my tippy toes.
Thank you.
Lots of pictures.
All right, let me grab some pictures and we'll let parents take pictures as well. Let's see everyone. Very proud of these students.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yes.
Good job, y'all.
To the next. He's ready to go. So now we're going to consider a resolution recognizing the week of May 6, 2024 as Teacher Appreciation Week. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely different backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community, now therefore be it resolved that the Carteret County Board of Education proclaims May 6th through 10th, 2024 to be Teacher Appreciation Week, and be it further resolved that the Carteret County Board of Education strongly encourages all members of our community to join with us in personally expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
Okay, so I've got a motion by Mr. Day and a second by Ms. Mall. All those in favor, let's raise our right hand. All right. And now, Mr. Goodwin.
Madam Chairman, I move to amend the agenda to add item 4.9, consider installation of gym floors request for Smyrna and Newport Elementary Schools on the consent agenda.
Okay. Someone like to second that?
I will second that
So
motion.
I've got a motion by Mr. Goodwin and a second by Mr. Jenkins. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. So now on to public comment.
Madam Chairman and school board members, in just a moment, you will open your meeting for public comment. The board chair will read from policy 2310 regarding limits on public comment relating to personnel and students. The policy includes this statement: a complaint against an employee or student will not be aired during public comment, although this may be heard in closed session following consultation with the superintendent. The laws of our state provide a structured method of filing complaints against employees of a school system. The structure does not include a public airing of grievances at public comment time. The laws do provide a considerable amount of privacy and confidentiality while the complaint is being investigated. Pursuant to state law, local governments across North Carolina have provided a public comment time at regular meetings since 2005. When first implemented, the Carteret County School Board was concerned about a public airing of complaints against employees and students, and as a result, public comment was held during a meeting that began 30 minutes before the regular agenda, and that meeting was not televised. Probably a decade ago, it was the shared observation that there was little abuse of the system for the first 10 or so years, and eventually the public comment meeting was collapsed into the agenda of the full regular monthly meeting. Over the last couple of years, there have been a few cases where members of the public refused to honor your rules for public comment and intentionally bypassed our system of checks and balances, very possibly in an effort to intentionally cause harm to an employee. This is typically done by not specifically naming the employee, but including such personally identifiable information about an employee that his or her identity is clearly revealed. This is of particular concern when public comment is used as a form of retaliation against school personnel who have acted in good faith within the course and scope of their duties, or who have taken a course of action prescribed by state or federal law. Many laws explicitly prohibit retaliation, and your policies encapsulate this prohibition. Public comment time at your April 9th meeting included many of the ills that we have tried to prevent with the restrictions on complaints against school employees at public comment. Some, not all of the speakers were intent on circumventing your rules, and they did. This left us challenging some of the comments, which was necessary but disruptive of the meeting. The solution I propose going forward, beginning tonight, is to divert complaints against school personnel to closed session sooner rather than later. This will allow any member of the public with a complaint against school personnel to ultimately get an audience with the school board, and will prevent us from having to constantly interrupt or even stop a speaker. It will also preserve the privacy of personnel records and reduce retaliation. It may result in more board meetings, but that is a small price to pay to maintain decorum. So I recommend at both the administrative level and the board level, when it is clear a member of the public has a complaint against school personnel, the matter be first sent to the superintendent's office for review and investigation. And if the superintendent is not able to resolve the complaint to the satisfaction of the member of the public, then it will come to the Board of Education in a closed session where we can afford privacy rights guaranteed to our personnel in the state statutes, but fully air the concerns that members of the public might have. Beginning tonight, if it becomes clear a speaker has a complaint against school personnel, let's first make sure the superintendent's office has been given an opportunity to address the matter, and if a resolution has not been achieved, then divert the speaker to a closed session to be scheduled in the future. With that, Madam Chairman, you can now move to public comment time.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Only the
No,
amendment.
we approved the amendment.
Move to approve the
I
agenda.
make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I've got a motion by Mr. Goodwin and a second by Ms. Statler. All those in favor? Okay, so now we're going to move on to public comment. It is now time for public comment. Anyone present tonight wishing to make a comment should have filled out a request to speak public comment form. To ensure civility, relevance, and time management, there are specific requirements for public comment set forth in school board policy. They include comments are limited to matters pertaining to public education. The speaker shall state his or her name at the beginning of his or her comment. Speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes per person. A 3-minute timer will appear on the TV screens in the bottom corner. The timer will beep when there are 30 seconds remaining. It will then beep a final time when your time is up. Thank you. For civility and decorum, no speaker shall make obscene remarks or issue personal attacks or insults. No complaint against a school employee or student will be permitted, although this may be heard in closed session at a later date following consultation with the superintendent. Much information about individual students, including a speaker's own child, is confidential under state and federal law, and we discourage and often prohibit such information in open session. The chairperson may immediately terminate any comments that violate these rules. Board members will not respond to questions except occasionally to request clarification. With that introduction, our first speaker tonight is Norma Salas.
Good evening. My name is Norma Salas, and my daughter is a 9th grader at Croatan. I'm here to share with the board our family's experience at Croatan and my concerns with the increasing negative culture at the school in order to effect a change, some transparency. Like many other parents, I researched viable options for retirement locations with my child's education, the key factor. After serving 24 years in the Marine Corps, I consciously chose Carteret County, specifically because of what it's known for. I looked. I'm a single parent, and I did my research, and we stayed here because of Croatan. Unfortunately, this year has been progressively challenging. In specific, selected site application of policy versus practice. Are freshmen allowed to double up in math, history? Some are not. My daughter signed up for honors math in November before Thanksgiving. She went to class the first day. That first day, she was told that she was no longer in class. When I asked why, I was told that it was site policy. When I asked for policy, I was told it wasn't policy. It was more like practice. When I articulated there were freshmen that were doubling up in math, I was told, well, there's not room in the class anymore. Another example, student participation in track nationals. Is it excused? Is it not excused? I asked the site administrator, and I was told it was not. Yet, 2 cheerleaders were excused to go to their nationals. When her track coach was removed from coaching staff, my daughter was devastated, so much so that she volunteered to speak to administration. After the initial meeting, she was later called back to the office for what was explained to her as an effort to ensure that her words were captured correctly. But to her, she told me she felt like she was being asked to either recant or change what she had initially stated. No one has ever asked her about her experience with 2 coaches videotaping her as she did hurdles. In fact, 2 did videotape her, 2 asked her, and she felt quite all right with that because she wanted to know about her techniques. There are multiple great Croatan teachers that are not returning next year. Yet, can I finish? Mm-hmm. Yet there is one teacher in particular whose classroom at best is in need of mentorship and at worst is unsafe. I have met with the administrator, yet this teacher's erratic and unpredictable behavior continues. For example, insertion in students' discussion about similarities between the military and the book they were reading with hypersensitive personal narration of their opinion of their child's suitability for military service versus their daughter's. Quote, I will get on my knees and beg my daughter not to join the Marine Corps. End of quote, for the Marines are misogynistic and don't treat women fairly. This emotional outburst left my daughter devastated. She's asking me whether women are suitable to serve in the Marine Corps As a 24-year veteran, I had to walk away because I just couldn't answer her. She was that devastated that day. This particular educator is easily startled, on guard, on edge, rattles the doorknob multiple times during class periods.
Okay, we're done.
Her time is up.
Yep.
If you have any specific complaint against personnel, you can bring it to Mr. Taylor's attention.
I have, sir. I've written an email, and I've got a candid response, sir.
And if you're not satisfied with the response, then request a special meeting with the board in closed session.
We'll do so. Thank you for your time, board members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria Salas?
Good evening. My name is Victoria Salas, and I'm a 9th grade student attending Croatan High School. Before I begin, I would like to say one thing. I came here today of my own free will and accord. I was neither coached nor forced to attend today's meeting. I would like to share the positive impact my coach has had on my training, as well as the negative atmosphere that exists at Croatan. Whenever I walk into school, it feels as though I am under a microscope, and that I have to watch my every move. Instead of being a place of growth and positivity, it is a place of negativity, and I feel very targeted. I was a competitive gymnast for over 10 years until last September when I had to quit due to a medical condition. I was absolutely devastated and was left with a broken heart, an injury, and no sport. Coach Beaufort offered me a spot on the cross-country team. It was a great opportunity, so I took it. Ever since the first cross-country practice, running has been my new sport. Monday, October 16th, the day that Coach Beaufort was told that he was no longer allowed to coach, was an overwhelming day. It felt as though a huge part of our team had been ripped away from us in the blink of an eye. He has been an integral part of my transition from gymnastics to running, and not having him as my coach has been challenging. He has supported me in any endeavor that I have taken on, whether it be track-related or academically related. Watching my teammates lift up the cross-country and indoor state championship plaques without Coach Beaufort being there was heartbreaking, especially since he was such an influential part of our training. Had Coach Beaufort not trained me as hard as he did during cross-country season, I would not have qualified for nationals. For the first time in Croatan's history, 5 females qualified, 4 of us being freshmen. According to Croatan's administration, this was not a school-sponsored event, so we were on our own. 252 Elite Track Club made all of our reservations and accommodations for our trips to Boston, Massachusetts. We decided to invite Coach Beaufort since he wasn't allowed to coach under the school, and as stated above, this was not a school-sponsored or related event. It is my understanding that Coach Beaufort could not attend due to unschedulable meetings. Coach Beaufort's absence has not only negatively impacted my transition to track, but also to high school. I have truly missed his humor, which can lighten any dark day, his encouragement at practice and at meets, his wise counsel, and his ability to teach proper track techniques. According to the Gospel of Matthew 23:4, they tie up heavy burdens and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves will not lift a finger to move them. I ask you, board members, to pick up the burdens and look into the negative atmosphere at Croatan, as well as Coach Beaufort's removal from Croatan's coaching staff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Salas.
Tammy Watson?
My name is Tammy Watson, and I have a sophomore at Croatan High School. And yes, I have already given an email to all of you. Only got one response from Ms. Chadwick, which was the same response as my daughter received, the same response as her friend received. Got us nowhere. I spoke at April school board meeting after sending emails to all of you, and I've not seen any improvement since that time. Now, I just have 3 questions for all of you on this board to determine how you're going to fix it, because you're the only ones who can. Question 1, is there a higher standard of behavior for coaches than the classroom teachers? I'm having a hard time understanding how you can't coach, but you can teach. Doesn't make sense. Question 2 relates to the teacher working surveys. All of the teachers completed the survey that comes out every other year. These surveys are said to be anonymous, but they're sent through the teacher's emails, which is traceable. And it's also asking for identifying factors, which are the departments that they work in, which is also traceable. What are you going to do to make sure that it's 100% anonymous? Because these teachers are afraid. It said that it was 87% of teachers said that Croatan leadership does create a culture of trust. I don't believe it. I've had many teachers tell me that they were not honest on these surveys because of fear of traceability. It's not anonymous. If you're using their emails through Carteret County Schools and you're asking for the departments. Question 3, given the lack of trust in the current Croatan administration and the fact that many teachers, students, and parents are afraid to speak out because of retaliation, will the school board consider hiring an independent counsel to investigate these allegations, whether it be against the teachers who have been relieved of their coaching duties and the numerous personnel issues that y'all cannot discuss, but you know are happening, or administrators who have created a culture of fear and intimidation? This is not the first time that any of you are hearing of these issues. I want to know what each of you plan to do to correct it so that once again, Croatan can become a place that my daughter and all of her friends and all of those great teachers deserve.
Natasha Simons.
Good evening.
Evening.
So, my name is Natasha Simons. I've spoke to you guys before. I have a letter from a student at Croatan. He says, "Hello, I'm a student at Croatan High School, and I'm writing this letter to voice the problems I have with school administrators and how the school is being run. My main problem is the unrighteous firing of Mr. Armenta. Mr. Armenta was a great teacher who was understanding, caring, easy to connect with and talk to. He was also very passionate about teaching history and adamant that we studied and did good in all of our other classes as well. Not only was Mr. Armenta a great teacher, but he was also a great wrestling coach. He saw potential in my athletic ability and encouraged me to come and wrestle for the school. When I came to the first practice, Mr. Armenta was willing to coach me one-on-one and make sure I understood what to do. After matches and meets, he would congratulate and praise me and point out things I need to work on, which led me to work harder, in turn making me try harder in class and keep my grades up so I could stay on the team. Overall, Mr. Armenta was a great teacher and coach and should not have had to resign for what he thought was morally and ethically right due to the threat of being fired for not teaching what has no place in a public school curriculum. Thank you for your time." That is his letter. Here's mine. Thank you for hearing us tonight. Hopefully you will be listening. If our issues, for what Mr. Whitford had to say before this meeting, you guys have gotten lots of emails from parents, I know that, which have gone nowhere. Like she said, everybody gets the same exact email back, so it's pointless. Anyway, I have a student at Croatan and one at Broad Creek. In addition to this student's thoughts and concerns, I spoke to another female student that told me the way that some administration looks and speaks to the female students in schools wildly inappropriate. This has been the consensus anytime it's brought up. Last month, I watched as many concerned parents and students stood here passionately describing in detail the many issues with administration at school. I too have the same concerns. I also watched as many of you, not all, seemed uninterested and preoccupied with other thoughts as they spoke, which is disheartening considering you were voted here to listen to and represent the very people that seem to bore you. Within the last month, it doesn't look like anything has changed, like she said. As we all know, you will not respond to our questions, which kind of makes this all pointless, but what, if anything, has happened with those concerns of the students and parents? In the closed-door meeting, it was implied that the administration and board are all doing their jobs as they should, and there was no problems. Clearly, that's not true. Upon reading through the agenda for tonight's meeting, I see there are new and/or revised policy codes that you'll be going over shortly. One in reference to retaliation, which is the concern of staff and teachers, which is why they don't speak up, and the other to staff and student relations. Is this your answer to the problems that were laid before you last month? Somewhere in the policy, it said about staff doing what is morally and ethically right. Obviously, that's not happening now, and I highly doubt writing it on a piece of paper won't change anything. Maybe a 6-point plan of action will help.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Scott Mankey.
Good evening. As you just said, my name is Scott Mankey. I appreciate you enduring me for 3 minutes, because that's probably what it is, you enduring me. It's the last thing I want to be doing today, to be quite honest with you. But it's something that I believe in. I believe you all have a duty to our children. I'm the father of 4, and unfortunately, I'm blessed that I have 1 left in school. I shouldn't be saying that. No parent should be saying that. I moved here specifically for Croatan School, retiring after 31 years in the Marine Corps. Using what a lot of these folks have used, the spouses clubs and the other organizations, getting an idea of where to go. So we did our research, we had a visit, and we went off the rating. We ignored all the silly little comments about Croatan, like they teach to the test, and they're only worried about test scores because of state funding, and I chalked that up to a bunch of disgruntled students and parents. And unfortunately, that's how I feel we've been seen over the past couple months, a small group of disgruntled parents. For some, I can only speak for myself. My children are contributors. They're athletes. They're brilliant. They're musicians. And we left the People's Republic of New York, albeit a really good school district. We looked for some place that would match that, some place that would nurture them and that they would be able to call home. You've heard testimony after testimony, and I can only echo that there's a double standard here. And I'm hoping, against hope, that at some point, somebody's going to take it serious, because you do have a responsibility to these kids. And whether it is, I want to be I don't want to be part of the problem. We're being told that our complaints about the coaches being let go is based on hearsay, but nobody's proved that hearsay wrong. Somebody please tell me that what we're dealing with is not fact. Please. I wasn't part of the closed-door session, because unfortunately I'm retired, but I still work 2 jobs to be able to afford this school district. Not going to school here, but living in this place. So I'm not privy to that, so I can't speak to it. But I don't get the feeling that we're being taken seriously. People are watching. People are going to be voting. Please just do the right thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caroline Strickland.
Hi, my name is Caroline Strickland, and my son is a senior at Croatan High School. I'm here because I'm very upset that I will not get to see my son be recognized for his academic and scholarship awards. Why? Because parents are excluded from being a part of the awards ceremony to see their students get recognized for the successes that parents played a big role in making happen. There is a traditional daytime awards ceremony, but with the entire student body in attendance, there won't be space for parents. In the past, there was also an evening ceremony. I went to one for my older son. Seniors who got academic achievement for all 4 years and scholarship recipients were recognized. I am simply asking that the evening ceremony be brought back. My son has worked hard, and I want to see him get recognized for his hard work. I also spoke with Bubba McLean, who's a former board member. He told me to use his name, and he agreed that there used to be an evening ceremony. He went to one for his son, and he confirmed that just a few minutes ago. Other student groups have their awards at night, including the choir spring concert, the FFA banquet, the band spring concert, the CHS visual arts exhibit, the choir and theater awards night, and athletic awards. And keep in mind that the students who make up the A+ status that Croatan has taken so much pride in through the years, we don't get to see the recognitions with our students. West Carteret has a senior scholarship night, East Carteret has a school awards night, and a separate scholarship night, just an FYI. I did reach out to Croatan's administration and the counselor in charge of this. They did respond, and I do appreciate that. I also reached out to Mr. Paler and to the board members. Several board members responded, thank you. And Mr. Paler responded, and I do appreciate that, but I still feel like I'm just getting the runaround, and I'm not being heard. And I do recognize that Croatan's new principal did not implement this plan, but he does have the authority to change it. An easy solution to this dilemma would be to have an awards ceremony at night for parents to attend, as well as the already scheduled daytime assembly for the student body to attend. Also, I was told that it's too late to reschedule the multiple guests who will be in attendance at the daytime assembly in order to have it at night. And I found out today that's not completely the truth, because an email was sent out to the seniors today asking who got scholarships and asking the seniors to reach out to their a representative for their scholarship and have them contact the counselor about being at the assembly. So I know that everything is not lined up yet. In addition to being a parent, I'm a teacher and have been with Carteret County Schools for 9 years. I'm very aware of the county's initiative to involve the community parents and families in order to form relationships. I've participated in many after-school activities myself as a teacher. Oftentimes would have rather been somewhere else, but when you go into into education, that's part of it. You go the extra mile. After all, we are supposed to be a partnership. At least that's always been my understanding. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mary Ann Waldrop.
Good evening, Board of Education leadership. I'm Mary Ann Waldrop. Good evening to the crowd. I wanted to come and introduce myself tonight. I don't have the opportunity, and I'm kind of grateful for it, to have a campaign. I am Commissioner-elect for District 4, which is Emerald Isle to Atlantic Beach, part of Cape Carteret, and all of Cedar Point. I wanted to introduce myself to let you know who I was. I am not a parent, but I am a graduate, 1983, of West Carteret High School, so I am a product of your school system. I am a 24-year Marine colonel, retired, so I do know Norma from working many jobs as a single mother there in Cape Carteret. I wanted to let you all know that I am looking much forward to being your representative or being a representative of the county. I am learning the county. I'm learning the business because I am not a professional politician. I am a citizen who has lived all around the world, most recently in San Diego, California. I know what I don't want in my county. I grew up here 80 to 83, and then joined the Marine Corps at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and our OTC program, and served in 3 combat zones. So I wanted to introduce myself. I am learning the ways of the county through attending the meetings. I'm looking forward to, this is my first meeting for the Board of Education, but I have been involved in substance abuse meetings. I'm going to all the municipality meetings, becoming very aware of the Beach Commission. So again, just another forum. Mary Ann Waldrop, live at Emerald Isle, 103 Sandcastle Drive, and happy to serve the county. So thank you.
Thank you. So
Madam Chairman, I also think Colonel Waldrop has a PhD, if I heard her correctly at another meeting.
That is correct, sir.
And from Carolina?
The PhD was from the University of San Diego, with a little apology about that. And, University of North Carolina bachelor's.
You have distinguished yourself.
Thank you. All right, so moving along. Looks like we're going over to a budget revision, number 3. Oh, the consent, sorry.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Now I'm moving us along, sorry.
I'll second that.
Okay, I got a motion by Mr. Jenkins and a second by Ms. Statler. All those in favor, raise your right hand on the consent. Now we're gonna go over to the budget revision, number 3.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we have budget revision number 3. This is going to revise the state operating budget in the amount of $214,747, the federal operating budget in the amount of $259,475.52, and the capital budget in the amount of $424,558. And in looking through the details, the state budget is all where final allotments have come through. These are adjustments that are made. Usually we get large state allotments early on in the year, and then as everything falls out, we have small adjustments to be made. These are 4 different PRCs that have received extra money. The last one actually being a grant that was applied for by our CTE director and received for a salary there. So that's just a summary of the state. For our federal allotments, most of these were where the actual allotment came in higher than the planning allotment. Every year, they give me a planning allotment to go with each program, and by the end of the year, those planning allotments are often not exactly what they end up giving us. Most of them will come in just a little bit under, and they have to give us some more money, or over, and they have to give us some more money, which is nice at the end of the year. With the exception, here you can see our EC funds in 060, Title II and 103, both went down. They were just a little bit less than the planning allotment. But the rest of them all increased, and these are just adjustments to note that extra money coming in. Then we have PRC 114. This is EC Risk Pool. This is also a grant that has to be applied for through the EC department, so it's new money coming in. PRC 118 is carryover from last year plus new allotment money this year. 119 is all carryover. 146 are stipends for 2 participants in the Rethink education program. And then below that, starting with 174, is COVID money. So this is actually COVID money reversions, which I want to state that reversions are never something I want to do. It's never something I'm happy about. But in these cases, this was something we really couldn't help. The first one was the child nutrition retention bonus. We had to revert that money just because we paid out all of the retention bonuses and there was $589 left, which basically would have been, I don't know, pennies. So we're reverting that money. Then PRC 178, this was $45,000 that was allotted specifically for iReady testing, but we already had a program in place. So we just didn't need that allotment, so we're reverting it back. And then PRC 185 and PRC 186, these are both EC allotments. This is where we actually had to encumber this money by a certain time this year, and at the time of the encumbrance, we expected to need this money for contracted services for certain students. Then as the year progressed, the students left the district, the students moved schools, things happened, and the contracted services were not needed. So because we encumbered it for those particular students and those particular services, we couldn't do anything with the money. It had to be reverted. So it's going back. And then PRC 206 is principal held harmless salary, and that is the one principal that we had subject to this who retired early this year. And so that money just had to be reverted because it could only be spent on that particular employee. And then our revision to the capital fund is for bus replacement. And this was just the $400,000 that came in for that.
Okay, any questions? All right. Somebody make a motion?
Great job.
A motion to approve the revision as presented.
And I will second that. Okay, so I got a motion by Ms. Statler and a second by Ms. Mall. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. So receive policy revisions for first read.
Good evening, Board. You just have policies for first read tonight. These policies come from a North Carolina School Board Association Spring 2024 update packet. The vast majority of these policies before you just have minor editorial revisions. However, I'm going to bring a couple policies to note. Policy 4040, 7310, staff and student relations, 4240, 7312, child abuse and related threats to child safety, and 7130, licensure. All these revisions mirror new legislation that was enacted where districts are to report to NCDPI anytime that an employee has misconduct with a student that may lead to the revocation of that employee's license. And so that mirrors the language that we have put in some other policies that you've already adopted. Also, there's a new policy, that would be policy 4140, that's foreign exchange students. This is a new policy for the board to adopt after second read. This sets out the parameters for our acceptance of foreign exchange students in the district. This is actually a very helpful policy, as I think some of our high school principals will attest to have something in place, because we get continuous questions about these. We have actually partnered with a company, International Student Exchange, as the sole company who we were going to process foreign exchange students. And the reason we did that is we were getting questions or requests from multiple companies. So we've gone with one company now, which is going to streamline the approach. So those are all the policies before you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Got a question? Thank you. All right. Receive bond project updates.
Not a lot of new updates again this month with the bond. Broad Creek Middle School is coming along nicely. It will still finish up. They'll have that building, the HVAC running this week, which means they can finish up other projects like flooring that we've been waiting on. So that's on schedule still. And we are along in West Carteret. If you've been there, you've seen that the band room that has the foundation, and the locker rooms are kind of torn apart, which is the beginning of getting that done. So that project is coming along nicely also. So those are the only two projects right now going along for bonds.
Okay, and now I'll receive comments from the superintendent.
Yes, good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank all of the teachers. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. We're incredibly fortunate to have outstanding and dedicated educational leaders to serve as teachers in our school system. Hats off to them. We're very fortunate to live in Carteret County and have the staff that we have here. Also note that May 8th is National School Nurse Day, and May 18th is National Speech and Language Pathologist Day. This past Friday, we celebrated and announced our County Employees of the Year. Congratulations to Principal of the Year, Christy Probst, Assistant Principal of the Year, Jake McAllister, Teacher of the Year, Dina Bischoff, Certified Employee of the Year, Pam Robertson, and Classified Employee of the Year, Jerry Rogers. We also appreciate all of our sponsors for this event. Those sponsors are Curtis Chevrolet, Carteret County Farm Bureau, Plain Jane's Cleaning, Chick-fil-A, Frank Door Company, Height and Associates, Kirkman and Whitford Law Firm, and Remax Ocean Properties. We thank them for their support and the continued sponsorship of this event and many others throughout the school year. We couldn't do what we do without them. I'd also like to wish Miss Brittany Wheatley a happy birthday today. She's here. She's not here, but it's not because of today's her birthday, I'm told, so happy birthday to her. And note that our next board meeting will be Tuesday, June the 4th. It will start at 6 p.m. And also note that there is no regular scheduled Board of Education meeting in July. So this concludes my comments.
Okay. Comments from board members?
Yeah, real quick, Miss Victoria Salas, I'm always proud of a student who has the courage to get up and talk about what they're convicted in, so kudos to you. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
I'd like to say a few things, and this was not pre-planned, so bear with me if I stumble a little. I want to second what he said. I was going to tell you when you were going to sit down, but it felt like too many people were about to talk. So please know, we really take it very seriously when students come up here and share. We know how hard that is. And it's hard for the parents too. So thank you to the parents, community members that come up here and speak. I will say I've been on the board just a little over a year, I think. I was in your seats not too long ago. I have spoke at that podium many times. I did not know all the ins and outs of being a school board member until I was here. You are not ignored. You are heard. We care. We look into it. We ask questions. If you see me taking notes, it's because I want to know more about what it is that you're saying. Please know. I can't speak for everybody because I didn't ask them ahead of time, but I'm pretty sure they agree with me in saying that we care, we hear you, we do our part. There's a lot of hard things being on the board, that legalities, whatever, privacy laws, what it may be. But we hear you. We want what's best for this county also. Continue to tell us when you're concerned. Continue to let us know what you need, but please don't think we don't care. I wrote that down several times, that we were bored. I may look bored. I have ADHD, so I look bored a lot of times and fidget and do things, but I'm not bored. That we don't take you seriously. I know I take you seriously. So I hate that half the people that spoke left and won't hear that. Hopefully they'll watch it on YouTube, or you can tell them. It's hard to not be able to be as transparent as we want to be sometimes. But there's reasons for it. We hear you. We thank you. And I'll shut up now.
Thank you. So, thank y'all for coming out, and as Mr. Paler said, our next meeting is Tuesday, June 4th at 6 PM. So,
Can I say one thing?
We can talk after.
can we talk in just a second?
Just a second.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right. Got a motion by Mr. Goodwin and a second by Ms. Mall. All those in favor?